Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and don't be coming in here all hopped up on goofballs and yelling at my air fryer. You know better. But during our live stream, we switched over to the Kershaw Camshaft after doing the first knife of the evening. So, we did 2.5 hours on that first knife. It was an 8CR13, that Spyderco Tenacious. And we sharpened that, and then I didn't really feel like doing a whole nother 2.5 to 4 hour session on that one. Whenever we put our own edge on there and get it nice and sharp and toasty, it adds time to the cut test. It always seems to add time. So I dug around and I found a knife I hadn't used yet, and that was the Kershaw Camshaft. And, I felt like this was a decent design. It's a decent little knife. Let's take a look at it. And first things first, and most importantly, the pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. We got either FRN or G10. I don't remember. We got a flipper tab. Let's flick the bean. An assisted opener, and it's right about 3 inches in length. So I bought this thing back in like 2021 for around $25. Now, I thought this whole time the blade steel was going to be a lot better than it is, but I went back and looked for the purposes of the live stream, and it's 4CR14. Boo! Like, that is, I swear to God, that is like $15 too much for 4CR14. I don't care how good the rest of the knife is built around it. 4CR14 has no reason on God's green earth to be put on a knife. All right, 8CR13 is the minimum. You get down to 7CR, things are getting sketchy, and you're getting down into like gas station flea market knife territory. With like good build quality, it might bring it up to about a $15 knife, maybe. But 4CR14, oh, God. Like, that's worse than trying to figure out how to tell somebody you met Chris Hansen. Just, Kershaw! This is part of why my reaction to Kershaw is so lukewarm. I haven't had any of their better knives, so I don't have anything to compare them to, but all the budget Kershaws I have are like this. There's something about them that is profoundly underwhelming. The build quality is there, but it hurts me in my butt place. But so we went in on the 4CR14, and let me check my notes here, because I actually wrote stuff down. It's not just FAFO, it's write stuff down. So we started in on this thing, and it was about 8:45 p.m., and the electronic edge tester tested out at 313. I knew that wasn't a good enough number to give it a fighting chance of doing all right, so we stropped it. And the reason I keep talking about my stropping system with the diamond paste on it is we went through all 5 strops and we brought that 313 down to 158. We made a much cleaner, more refined edge without even touching a sharpening stone. So we started cutting with it, and I mean, the blade cut well enough. It did a decent job cutting. I can't really find a huge fault with the blade profile and the grind on it. It's just that garbage steel! Oh! So we gave it some more challenging cardboard, and we gave it the regular cardboard, about the usual mix. And we did all right. Now, it was 8:50 p.m. At 9:50 p.m. we stopped, and we checked the scale, and we got 550. And that's pretty significant edge wear. That's not a good cut on the copy paper, nothing like that. And I kind of expected it was going to start falling off a cliff at any minute after that first hour was over. And yeah, at an hour and 25 minutes, we wound up with a 600-ish number on the edge test. That is completely jacked up. It did not do good at all. Now, the upshot to this whole thing is because it's 4CR14 and I genuinely do not care about this knife at all, I was able to practice some hand sharpening on it. And one of the things that I'm working on with my hand sharpening, and I think I'm hitting the limit of what my stones will allow, is trying to get that edge down below 100 points on the sharpness tester without cheating it. Good consistent pressure, a nice drop on it. I want to get them down below 100. And, I've got a 4-sided sharpening block with diamond plates that I got at Harbor Freight for $7. So I'm kind of working with, it's trash, but you can sharpen on trash. Like, it doesn't take a lot to sharpen things. As long as you have some kind of grit on it and like a coarse grit and a finer grit, you're okay. Just off of that 600, like it goes 200, 300, 400, 600 on the grits. And even off that 600 grit, I can still shave, I can still cut paper, but of course I refined it on the strops afterwards. And let's take a look at the cut on the copy paper to see how it do there. Let's flick the bean. Wow, second try. Of course, I mess a cut up because I'm on camera. Let's try another corner. But yeah, you can see I got a pretty good edge on it for hand sharpening on a garbage block. I am getting better and better at hand sharpening. And if you're going to learn how to hand sharpen, practice is the key. Practice is the key. I am happy with the edge bevel on both sides. They are even. They look really clean. They're better than the factory grind was. So, you know, the hand sharpening is getting better and better. So we're going to pull out the boy because we can. We got it. Let's get the manually fed test clip out. Words are hard. Like, I've done so many videos today. It's not funny trying to get caught up. Like, if I didn't get all these videos smashed out and uploaded in a hurry, I would have wound up being like 2 weeks behind on everything that I was uploading. And I'd like to keep you guys up to date with things as they're happening. But a lot's happened in the last week as far as carrying stuff, reviewing stuff, new stuff coming in. That feels pretty good. We are going to compare it with a calibrated test clip, by the way, so no sweat there. So we got a 183 on that. Let's get the test clip out, because I know, like, we got it down to the 120s, I think, last night, or at least it read in the 120s last night. Like I said, this thing has a bit of a learning curve to it, and I'm still getting the hang of it, but let's take a look at this. You know, like, I feel like my skills hand sharpening are now at the point where it's justified to buy nicer stones, but the money needs to go elsewhere in the channel. Okay, 182. So, I mean, real consistent. I'm getting the hang of using this thing, which this thing's probably going to be a lot cheaper to use, and that'll have to hold me between orders of bags of test clips. So, like, I got a good sharpen on that, which I know is not related to the actual cardboard cutting part of the cardboard slayer session, but I feel like it's worth sharing. You know, I like sharing how things are coming along with the channel, and this is a skill that I think is very, very valuable to have, is hand sharpening, and you don't need anything expensive to start learning. You don't. Like I said, that block I got at Harbor Freight costs $7. It's a 4-sided block. You know, I've had it for years and finally decided to sit down and learn how to use it. So, you know, you guys know I love sharing with you what happened on Cardboard Slayer. This 4CR14 got an hour and 25 minutes, hour 30 minutes of cutting time before it went out. Very predictable. It seems like the 4CR14 is at least good 4CR14. I hate using those two words in the same sentence, but it is what it is. I mean, you know, it's too expensive for 4CR14. I will say the ergonomics. The ergonomics were quite good. I felt no discomfort during that hour and a half, and I just finished off using another knife for 2.5 hours. So the ergonomics are pretty solid. It felt good in the hand. Like, everything about this feels good, and I thought it was a much nicer knife than it was. It's just that 4CR14. And, I mean, if you're a light user, if you're in an environment like I am where you're just working retail, you got to break down the occasional box and cut some plastic once in a while, I mean, 4CR14 will get you where you want to go. You probably won't have to sharpen it for a while, but 4CR14 is not $25 steel. It's not. And it's weird to sound like a bit of a knife snob saying stuff like that, but, you know, 4CR14 is on the lower end of gas station grade knives. Like, you start getting into 3CR13 with some of those, but, you know, stuff that's built well with good materials and all that, other than the blade, yeah, 4CR14 ain't cutting it, Chief. So, you know, again, my feelings about Kershaw are still very lukewarm. I thought this would be much nicer steel than it actually is. And the price is still around $25. And I do feel like that is about $13 to $14 too much for this thing. So, Cardboard Slayer, it got very predictable results. Hand sharpening was fun. It's too expensive. That is my full recap of this thing, because you know I love sharing what happened on Cardboard Slayer. So, all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. You'll keep coming in. I appreciate you so, so much. You have no idea. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We got giveaways coming up. We got live streams. There's plenty of activities. Comments, I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this thing. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.